God has made a prophecy, not about the end of time or on kingdoms. God's first prophecy was about his family. A single verse in Genesis reveals a divine plan for love, unity, and a purpose that can change your life. Stay with me to unravel family prophecy and what it means to you today. When most of us hear the word prophecy, we think of Daniel's grand visions, the words of fire of Isaiah, or the revelation of John. We think of global events, catastrophes, the rise and fall of nations. But what if God's first and most fundamental prophecy had not to do with distant events, but with the very fiction of humanity? Family, love, and purpose? In the book of Genesis, the very source of creation, we find a statement that, in my understanding and in my studies, echoes as eternal prophecy. Not just an instruction, but a proclamation of what marriage is, what family will become, and what human love can achieve. In the Garden of Eden, in a moment of pure perfection, God creates the woman from the rib of man, and by bringing it to him, he not only unites them, he makes a prophetic statement about the future of all mankind. In Genesis 224 we read, "For this reason, man will leave father and mother and join his wife, and they will become one flesh." This phrase is much more than advice. It is a prophetic plan, a divine script for marriage. It is the revelation of God's original project, which was pronounced before the fall, before sin. It is a promise of how the family should be and how, through the grace and power of God, it can still be. Today, let's dive into the depths of this prophecy, exploring every word and the power it carries to transform lives. The first word of prophecy, leave, is more revolutionary than it seems. In a society where life revolved around the clan, the tribe, and the family of origin, God was proclaiming a new social order. He was prophesying that a new family unit, the couple, would have precedence and autonomy. To understand the radicality of this prophecy, we need to go back to time. Ancient societies were clanic. The identity and safety of a person were intrinsically linked to their tribe and their family of origin. Getting out of this circle was unthinkable. But here, God prophesies that for a marriage to be truly a marriage, an act of rupture is necessary. This leaving is not an abandonment. It is an act of faith and maturity. It is a priority prophecy. It is the statement that the new marital relationship must have primacy over ancient ties. Without that leaving, the couple has no chance of becoming a new entity. All leave happens at 4 deep levels. The leave physical. It is the prophecy that the couple will build their own home. Their own home. It doesn't matter if it's a palace or a tent. The important thing is the act of establishing a space where they are authority and those responsible, free from parental control or dependence. The leave financially. It is the prophecy of financial independence. The new family must be self-sufficient. This act of financial responsibility is a crucial step for maturing and the dignity of the couple. The emotional and psychological this is perhaps the most challenging aspect of leaving. Prophecy requires that parents' emotional dependence be transferred to the spouse. The center for support, advice, and emotional validation must now be your partner. This transition is what allows intimacy and confidence to grow. The leaving identity, the family name, is now us. Prophecy calls us to set aside individual identity, the self, to embrace a shared identity, the we, why. The couple is no longer just son of, daughter of, but now it is husband and wife. Throughout the scriptures we see this prophecy of rupture being fulfilled. Think of Abraham, who left his land and his parentela for a call from God. Although not directly about marriage, it is the same principle of leaving the familiar to embrace the new, the uncertain, by faith. In a marital context, leave prophecy is a call to faith, an act of trust that God will provide for this new unity that He Himself has established. If leave is the prophecy of rupture, joining is the prophecy of the pact. The original Hebrew word to join, dabak, is incredibly rich and powerful. It does not just mean join, but paste with a deep force, such as glue. It is the same term used in Deuteronomy 10:10, where the people of Israel are instructed. A prophecy about the kind of commitment that the couple must have with each other, the same level of attachment God desires from us. The uniting transcends the physical plane. It is a prophecy about building a life partnership. The union of purpose, the prophecy of uniting, declares that the couple are not two individuals with separate goals. They are a team, a unified force with a shared vision. God has prophesied a mission partnership where each one's talents and passions complement each other for a greater good. Marriage is a call to synergy, where the whole is larger than the sum of the parts. The union of soul dip in the depth of emotional intimacy. Prophecy is about the ability to become confidants of each other. Talk about vulnerability, the courage to expose your fears, weaknesses, and dreams without the fear of judgment. The union of souls is the cement that maintains the strong relationship, a deep friendship that lasts a lifetime. The pact union marriage, in the light of this prophecy, is not a contract, an agreement that can be undone. It is a pact, an unconditional agreement, sealed before God. Prophecy reminds us that uniting is a commitment of life, in health and illness, in wealth and poverty. It is the promise of never giving up. We see the fulfillment of this prophecy in passages such as Ruth's. She tells Naomi, "Wherever you are, I will go, and wherever you land, I will land. Your people will be my people, and your God, my God. Wherever you die, I will die, and I will be buried there. May the Lord punish me with all the rigor, if another thing that death separates me from you." Ruth's commitment, although made to her mother-in-law, is the perfect example of what she means clinging back to someone. It is the prophecy of uniting in its purest form. If leave and union are the foundations, one flesh is the final construction of prophecy. This is the most sublime and deep statement of God. It is the prophecy that in marriage individual identities merge to create a new shared identity. It is such a complete unity that is compared to flesh, the very essence of being. This sacred unit is experienced in 4 dimensions. The physical dimension, sexual union, is the physical seal of this prophecy. It is the purest act of one flesh, which reflects the union of soul and spirit. Talk about how sexuality within marriage is a sacred act that reflects the holiness of the union. The spiritual dimension, it is the union where hearts align to seek God together. Prophecy points to the couple as a unity of prayer and worship. It is a testimony that when two people come together in spiritual purpose, the power of God is multiplied in their lives. The emotional and mental dimension, how they begin to think, feel, and react like one. Talk about the ability to complete each other's thoughts, to feel each other's pain. One flesh prophecy is about building deep empathy and shared mind. The reflection of the Trinity union, one flesh, is the first prophecy that human relationship can be a reflection of the Trinity. The love of the Father, the surrender of the Son, and the union of the Holy Spirit are echoed in marriage. Marriage is not just an institution, it is an echo of God's own nature. Connect the prophecy of Genesis 2:24 with Ephesians 5, where Paul calls the marriage of a great mystery that points to Christ and the church. The original prophecy expands and is fulfilled at a cosmic level. The union, one flesh of the couple, is a microcosmos, a glimpse of the perfect union between Christ and their bride, the church. Prophecy does not end with the couple, it is the starting point for God's master plan for humanity. The family, founded on this marriage, one flesh, is the basis of society and God's instrument for its glory. The prophecy of multiplication, the order of being fertile and multiplying, Genesis 128, is fulfilled within the structure of marriage. It is not just a biological order, but a prophecy that the family would be the safe place to nourish life, educate, and disciple the next generation. The family as a discipleship agent. The prophecy is that the home would become the first and most important school of faith. It is in the family environment that children learn about God's love, forgiveness, grace, service, and worship. Family worship, prayer, and Bible reading become the fulfillment of this prophecy. The family as the agent of culture. The prophecy of Genesis 2:24 is that the family would be the main institution to convey values, ethics, and character. The health of a society can be measured by the health of their families. When prophecy is lived, society flourishes. Legacy prophecy discuss the concept of spiritual legacy. The marriage one meet is not just about the couple's life, but about the impact they will have on future generations. Talk about the importance of building a legacy of faith that transcends death and continues to bless the world. The family as a temple and sanctuary. The home becomes a place where God's presence is invited to dwell. The family is a prophecy of discipleship and daily worship. Home becomes a sanctuary, a place of refuge of the chaos of the world, where God's grace is tangible. In a corrupted world, the prophecy of Genesis 2:24 becomes a challenge. Sin has brought divorce, selfishness, infidelity, and lack of commitment, which are the denial of one flesh. But even with human failure, prophecy is not cancelled. It points to greater hope, redemption. Prophecy in a fallen world. Talk about the different forms of corruption of prophecy in today's society, such as the culture of the self, the technology that isolates, and the lack of commitment. The hope of redemption prophecy is a promise that it is possible to rebuild. Hope is in the grace of God, which redeems and restores. Marriage is a journey of sanctification, where the couple, with the help of God, seeks to live the original plan. The fulfillment in Christ. Connect the prophecy of Genesis 2:24 with Christ, the groom. He left the glory of heaven, joined with humanity, becoming one flesh with us, and through his sacrifice, he redeemed marriage so that we can live God's original plan. The call to live the prophecy finish with a powerful call. The prophecy of Genesis 2:24. It is not just about the past, but about its present and future. It is a call to live prophecy in your own life, regardless of your situation. In a chaotic world, God's first prophecy gives us a compass. It shows us that the love and unity of the family are the foundation of society and the reflection of God's love. Marriage is a project of God. Family is a project of God. And you are part of this project. If you believe the family is a divine project, leave your comment. Share this video with someone who needs to hear this message. Subscribe to more content that transforms and makes us dive into the depth of the Word. May the prophecy of Genesis 2:24 be a reality in your life.